Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Black and White Black and White Opinion, episode 7. And today is Monday. Every Monday we are here. I'm working on some things for you could catch me every 48 hours, but we're doing pretty good. Last week we talked about Biden, Elon, a couple of other things. Today we're going to continue with Biden and the baby formula that's out right now, and I know everybody heard about it and what's going on, and we had to wait for the shipment for the babies to get formula over here. And yesterday they said they delivered it. And Jack raised one good question. He said, "Why we only have one plant making the stuff? What's the deal with that?" I was curious about that too. I didn't know it was only one place making the formulas. And as I think about it, to me, it's no really big deal. All women have breasts. I, would think most women would say, you know what, forget that. Feed them, naturally.
Stan, you're going to get in trouble. I can feel the hate comments coming already. You don't
What?
tell a woman she's got nothing to worry about because she has a breast. That's not going to cut it. But you go ahead. You
Hey, I said what I had to say. Was I wrong? Most women have breasts,
No,
right?
That's not going to cut it with women, Stan.
Yeah, okay, well, they can say what they want to say. That's why it's black and white opinion.
No, that's not black and white opinion. That's a chauvinistic opinion. That's what that
How?
is. No.
Most women do have
Yeah,
breasts.
That's right.
Is that right or wrong?
That's true.
So, it's their choice
No,
to go to get the Similac or go get the milk.
No,
To me, if you don't want to rely on the government and y'all up in the uproar, and you just had a kid, use your natural milk, your body, what God intended for the kids to do.
Stan, were you breastfed?
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't see the big deal or the big worry about it.
That's why you're so
Yeah,
smart.
I don't see the big deal.
Anyway, I'd like to comment about the breast formula.
Go ahead.
Or not the breast milk, the formula. I am shocked that the Biden administration is doing such a poor job of controlling the narrative on everything that happens. The baby formula shortage is due to a contamination at a baby formula plant,
I heard
and it
that.
has nothing to do with Biden. And Fox News makes a big deal out of it. It says, "Hey, we're sending all our baby formula to illegal aliens and all this kind of illegal immigrants and all this stuff." I mean, Biden is unable to control the narrative. He gets painted with all this stuff that shouldn't even get painted with. And the real issues they should be concerned with aren't getting handled. Like, I'll still come back to voting rights. Voting rights still has not been handled. It's too late. It is a catastrophe for this country that we're coming into midterms with no voting rights. Okay, so the real things are not being handled. And you want to talk about shortages? How about they have baby formula in the Ukraine? Do those babies over there, do they have baby formula? Of course they don't. They haven't even got food to eat. They got nothing. They're running for their lives. They're being bombed to death. So why aren't we talking about that? Instead, we're talking about Biden, the baby formula. It just shows that he's unable he's got a bad staff. I mean, his staff that's supposed to be working for him and controlling this stuff, he's just
Caught up.
he's just reacting to other people's stuff. He needs to be driving his own agenda, not talking about baby formula. Let's talk about how to save the freedom fighters in Ukraine. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about voting rights for Americans. Okay, let's talk about things that make a difference. But instead, he gets sidetracked. And the other thing, too, Biden has stepped in quite a bit of, I guess we'll call it doo-doo this week. Two things that just really blew me away. He goes to the Amazon union workers, and he does a big rally about how they should unionize Amazon. So he's got Bezos upset, right? So Bezos is like, he owns the Washington Post, he's all upset, right? He's got Elon Musk upset because he refuses to acknowledge the fact that Elon is making electric cars as the leader. He refuses to talk anything about SpaceX. I mean, I don't understand. It's almost like he's trying to fail. I mean, he's completely lost the narrative. He's running the wrong way with people like Elon and Bezos and everything else. and he's lost the focus of what he should really be doing, which is things like voting rights and taking care of the people of Ukraine and working on the inflation, our economy, and all that. That's what he should be doing. Instead, he's letting people talk to him about baby formula. It's a big national thing. It's ridiculous. How can he lose control of the narrative? Let's talk about inflation. Let's talk about gas prices. Let's talk about Ukraine. Let's talk about voting rights. I mean, for Pete's sakes. But anyway,
the gas prices only stayed calm for a month and a half, and then they took right back off. So you do have a point when you say, let's talk about gas prices.
well, I'll tell you what the problem with gas is. Saudi Arabia has got an autocratic leader. Was ASB Solomon, whatever that guy's called?
Yeah.
He's no friend of the United States. He's a murderer and a killer. He killed that Washington Post guy, Khashoggi. I don't know how to say his name.
Most
right.
of them.
The
like
guy,
that,
he
killers.
is a killer. He hires contract killers. Okay, so he's got a lot of oil. Putin's got a lot of oil. Putin's a killer. He hires killers to go to other countries and kill citizens of those countries. Like in the UK, they do nothing, right? He tried to poison, what's his opposition leader in Russia? The guy he threw in jail?
Been in there for a while too.
Yeah.
What's that guy's name?
Yeah, so he is a killer, right? So we have a bunch of autocratic killers running the oil, and we got China, which is another, dictatorship, whatever you want to call it, with Xi. And so we're running around trying to deal with dictatorships and cartels and all this stuff. That's what our problem is, right? We need to get off oil, and we need to get renewable. We need to build atomic power plants. We need turbines, wind turbines. We need solar panels. We need electric cars and motorcycles. We got to get off oil, period. I mean, Elon's got us on the way, but I mean, the whole oil thing, it is a geopolitical disaster. Besides the fact that we're getting robbed, I mean, every time you flip your tank, you're putting, the blood of Ukrainian citizens in your gas tank, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it blows me away. I forget what the number was. I quoted a few weeks ago, but something like $500 million a day that the European Union is buying oil for cash from Russia because they can't even heat their own homes. This is after Germany shut down all their new atomic power plants. I mean, come on.
I mean,
these are real issues.
Yeah, this is what's going to happen.
And
this is what's
the
happening.
other thing too that I think I've talked about before, but gets me upset is this Pete Buttigieg, right? I thought he was a smart guy, right?
No.
So he comes in, they put him in as head of the Department of Transportation, and he decides to have a baby and take a maternity leave for a couple months. What the hell, man?
You saw he just got out.
I mean, come on. I mean, aren't you glad he wasn't president? He would have said, "See ya." What kind of an idiot is that? And how can he let Biden constantly say these things about Tesla and about how Mary Barra is electrifying the country? How can he do that? How can he Biden's his boss, right? Isn't he supposed to protect the boss? I mean, keep the boss from stepping in it all the time?
The funny part about all this is if they hit the grid and all these people running around with all these electrical cars and people on respirators and old people that's living off of respirators, that electricity is a trick to me. They keep telling you it's going to go out. I don't mind electrical cars. Just say I'm old, but I'm going to keep me an old school. And most older people that I talk to, or people who love cars, they say, yeah, that new stuff is okay, but I'm going to keep my baby too. So I think we're being set up. That's all I can say when it comes to the electricity thing. Electricity is free. If you know how to set up and put up your little towels and crystals and use stuff, you can get that stuff yourself. Elon didn't do nothing but take on what Tesla already put out here, man. Don't be dumb. Everything ain't what you think it is. And they fighting over the platform of Twitter for they can police the platform of Twitter. That's what's holding Elon up. Not only did Elon say he will put Trump back on there to speak, you got to think, everybody like, huh? Who? Him? I mean, it's like...
Let me tell you what I think is holding Twitter up. Twitter's a fraud. And what the fraud is that half the users are not users, they're just bots. Half the time when you get a like, it's just a bot.
Jack is right about the bots, y'all.
I got it. So they say Trump's got 100 million followers, I don't know what the number is, but he's really got half of that. Right. And everybody, is half or less. And I saw an interview the other day this executive was being interviewed, and the interview got like right away like 50,000 hits on YouTube, some great amount of hits. You know how many comments they had? 2. Okay. So you know what
It don't make sense, right?
So that means they got about 100 views, right?
Okay.
Right. Because you and I get comments, we got like 30 views. We get a comment, right?
Yeah.
So what does that tell you?
Yeah.
So it's a big fraud. And you know why they don't police it? Because it makes them look good. Right? YouTube, oh, look, you got 100,000 views. No, you didn't.
Don't get me wrong. I see all type of people from every walk of life will use the tweet and tweet something or do something. But far as the platform or what they saying, how they're really standing on it, like this is a big thing, like everybody like this Twitter. Since when?
Well, let me tell you where it's going to run into trouble. Twitter is a publicly traded company. So they have to put out quarterly statements, annual statements, and they have put in writing how many users they got. They go, we got this many users. So if they're lying,
Yeah. But see,
then they defrauded their shareholders.
you know what? You see the game they just did though. Oh, Elon is getting
Well,
so
no,
his name
no,
rings
no,
bells.
not only that, but the guy who started Twitter, Dorsey, he's the guy who started it, right?
Mhm.
He doesn't work there anymore, but he's a friend of Elon's. So I think Dorsey tapped Elon on the shoulders and Elon, half those accounts are bogus, man. So Elon said, hey, man, let me act like I'm going to buy him, and then we'll do an audit and find out
Yes.
those things are bad. We'll just
Yeah.
shut the whole thing down. That's what he's done. I think he wants to buy it. I think he just wants to wreck them.
I don't think he want to wreck him
I don't know.
because his tweets behind it is different. Didn't you see what he said when he bought it? He said, "Man, they're giving me